Hi guys, welcome to this week's lesson, and we're going to look at life in a medieval town. So in your notes, can you have that as your title please? Life in a medieval town. And once you've done that, I'm going to put a picture in front of you, and I want you to look at this picture, and I want you to try and identify the differences between the picture you can see there, an image of a medieval town, and what life is like in a town or a city today. And I want you to try and list 5 things in your notes. So press pause, have a look at the picture, and try and come up with 5 differences. Now when you've done that, I want you to carry on. Okay, so you've probably identified things that we've got animals walking down the street. We've got quite a bit of rubbish. We've got people washing their clothes in the river. I'd like to think we're not doing that today. We've got lots of buildings going on. Some of the buildings look a little bit dangerous. There doesn't look like there's much health and safety at work going on. It looks like there's a lot of smoke coming out of the buildings as well, not because they're on fire, but because they've got chimneys. There's going to be lots of smog and dirt in the air. We can see just at the bottom of the picture we've got a city wall and we've got soldiers on it. We don't have things like that around cities and towns today. And up in the distance you can see a castle up on a hill. Now we might have a castle nearby these days, but I doubt it's a castle where someone is actually living. So, life in a medieval town. We need to look at why towns developed. So after 1066, the invasion of William the Conqueror, towns begin to grow. Some villages grew in size too, and these turn into towns. Sometimes towns grew where major roads met, or near a bridge where people came to buy or sell goods. Others grew near a castle or a monastery. Now the local lords still owned these places, but if the town continued to grow and people became wealthy, they might join together and buy the land and their freedom from the lord or king. So I've got a question for you. Why did towns develop? I want you to try and come up with 3 reasons. Pause the screen, have the text in front of you, and see what you come up with. Now hopefully you came up with 3 reasons. Now the first reason, they're close to major roads and bridges. Lots of people are travelling along these roads and bridges, so it's going to be places for people to meet, people to pass, and in the end towns start to grow. This leads on to people trading, where people are meeting, they start to trade. They sell things, they buy things, they swap things, and in the end markets are going to start growing and developing because it becomes a regular place to meet and trade. And then finally, they're close to a castle or a monastery. So a castle gives protection, but a monastery is also important. Don't forget, during this period religion is incredibly important to people. So these are reasons why towns develop. Now the next task you've got a handout that's been included in the lesson pack this week, and I want you to look at that handout, try and print a copy off, or if not, just bring it up on the screen in front of you afterwards. You need to read that handout. Now you'll see you've got some text describing life in a medieval town, and then on the right hand side you've got a glossary. Some of the key words that have been used in that text are explained a little bit more for you. So I want you to read that. So again, press pause and read that document, and once you've read it, come back to the video. Once you've done that, we've got our assignment for this week. We've got our final piece of work that we need to do this week, and it's going to be a written task. Now the task is describe 2 ways to explain how crime was controlled in a medieval town. Now the answers to that are in the written text I've sent you. Now you need to describe 2 ways. So I'm going to expect 2 explanations. Remember, for each one, point, evidence, explain, please. I don't mind if you complete that written task on a computer or if you handwrite it, but please make sure you upload it to Teams before the deadline. If you've got any questions, send me a message. Otherwise, have a good week. Thanks very much.